Hello, I'm Dennis Pravinsky, and welcome to Grandpa Dennis's Wood Turning Studio. Today's video is about leftovers. Here's a leftover piece of burl. This was just a plastic container from yogurt, and I had leftover resin from one of my previous projects. I put the piece of burl into the container, filled it with the leftover resin, and here we have it. So let's see what this is going to look like. Well, let's see what we can make out of this. I think a small little weed pot. That's what this will be. So I've got a big change of plans now. I have a block of this wood. I'm not quite sure what it is. It might be rosewood because it looks rosy colored. I've sliced off on the bandsaw 2 thin sheets. Hopefully I'll be able to bend this enough. I'm going to take this and cut it on the bandsaw like so. Put these thin sheets in there. Then glue it with the epoxy glue. Squeeze it together. And then this will be the base. Then I'll turn a small box in here and come up to the top and use this as the finial for the lid of the box. So that's the plan right now. Let's see if that's going to work. I'm not sure that these things are thin enough, but we'll see. Well, some cracks, but a few gaps, but I think it might work. Before we start that, I've got something to say. Don't be afraid to fail. Try something new, try something different, and you never know where that's going to lead. If it's a failure, you can always use that as a design opportunity to try something different. But that's the whole essence of creativity, is to take the risk. Take the chance. Go out and do something that's out of the norm. I have the waste block attached, and now I'm forming a tenon, attaching this to my one-way stronghold chuck with the premium profile jaws. Now the chuck is on the headstock, and with the tailstock supporting the piece, the shaping begins. I am using carbide-tipped tools from huntertools.com. At this stage, it's the Hercules tool that I'm using. This is the best kind of tool to use when there's a lot of resin. I have a lot of voids in this piece. They are caused by air bubbles. Unfortunately, when I poured the casting, I did not put it into a pressure pot or a vacuum chamber. That process would have avoided all of these voids. Now to fill the voids, I am using the special UV resin from Designer Epoxy. It requires a UV light, which they also sell, and it only takes 15 seconds to 5 minutes for a complete cure. If you're ordering from Designer Epoxy CA, don't forget to use the code Grandpa Dennis for 10% off. Using a 2 3/4 inch Forstner bit to drill out the inside. This saves me about an hour's worth of hollowing. Of course, you don't want to go through the bottom of the piece, so measuring twice and drilling once is the great plan. Now I need to cut a tenon on the top. I should have done this before I parted off the lid, but there's always a workaround a mistake that you make, and I do a lot of workarounds. Now I'm thinning out the wall of the box to accept the tenon that's on the lid. It's my belief that the lid should fit loosely so that it comes off easily and it doesn't bind if the wood shifts over time. It's time to clean up the bottom of the box. I put on my vacuum chuck and use the one-way adapter to put my stronghold chuck onto the live center. This adapter has a female end of 3/4 inch to screw onto the live center and male thread that matches my chuck. That way I can center the piece 100% onto the vacuum chuck and remove the stronghold, leaving me a perfectly centered piece to clean up the bottom. Removing the waste block and refining the foot of the box. Time to repair some more voids with the UV resin and the special light. I use the vacuum chuck once again to hold the lid while I undercut the bottom of it and do the sanding. I apologize for the poor angle on this clip, but I am putting on the finish. This really makes the color pop. Now it's time for the final scene. Here's the finished project. Well, I've got myself a little box that I've been able to make from product that I would have just thrown away. A piece of scrap burl and excess resin that was destined for nowhere land. There's a few morals to this story. Number one, don't give up on something and just throw it away. You might be able to use it. But you better be careful because you'll end up with a shop full of all kinds of stuff that you'll never use. The other thing is, I cut the blank right down the center twice and then glued it back together. I thought that would give me a bit of a wavy pattern. And it does a little bit on the top, but it's pretty much straight down the sides. So I won't be doing that again. I think I'd have to cut it this way rather than this way. My camera angles were off quite a bit, so the filming wasn't one of my greatest achievements. But this was kind of a freebie, so I thought I would just do it and see what it resulted in. Now, I haven't done many boxes with lids like this, maybe 2 or 3 in total in 30 years. So it was a bit of a learning curve for me. Lots of mistakes I learned. I should cut this tendon in here while it's still attached to the entire piece. Instead, I parted it, then had to force it back on here and hold it on tight at this end so that I could cut that tendon again. That's something that I'll remember next time. The inlay pieces that I put in here were really too thick. They did crack when I squeezed them together. You cannot see the crack, and there are no real gaps in the bottom of it. So I think next time I would cut those quite a bit thinner. The other issue is they're a dark brown color, and they don't really show up very well on the dark resin. It shows up nicely on the burl part. However, I would have had to cut down this piece significantly to get more burl to show on the body of the box. So at the end of the day, there were a number of design issues that I should have improved on and will the next time. But as I said earlier, take the chance. You don't learn anything by just being stagnant and doing the same thing over and over again. You have to try new things. This did not turn out as nicely as I would have liked, but it's still a functional little box. And it would be great for pills, maybe some keys, maybe some nuts, like me. I mean fruit nuts and stuff. But that's what turning's all about. Try something that you haven't done before or you're not good at and see how it comes out. Learn from it. Please subscribe to my channel and give me a comment. YouTube really likes comments. That just boosts the popularity of my YouTube channel. And I do need more views on the YouTube channel. I have lots of subscribers, but I need a lot of views. Until the next time, keep on turning.
Grandpa Dennis is turning.
I'm alright, 'cause I'm okay. Doesn't matter if my beard is gray. Just listen, I have something to say.
Dennis is turning.
I'm alright, 'cause I'm okay. And this old goat has something to say. So just keep learning from Grandpa Dennis is turning.